Hi, Jeffrey here. In this video, I will be explaining how I drew one of the most complicated buildings. The building I'm talking about is La Sagrada Familia, located in Barcelona. For those who don't know, this building was primarily designed by architect Antoni Gaudí. The building is currently still under construction and has been for over 100 years. So how did I draw it if it's not complete yet? Well, let's begin. To start, I used this image as a reference. This is a rendering showing what the building is supposed to look like when it's complete. Using this as a base, I can outline the major features and draw them, meaning the major spires, towers, and facade details. However, if we zoom into the reference image, you'll notice that the details are very pixelated. So this image alone won't work because I'm trying to get as much detail as possible to draw all the details that the real building would have. So let's break the building down into components. There are 3 facades. There's the Nativity facade, the Glory facade, and kind of hidden behind that in this view is the Passion facade. Now, if we return to my drawing, you can see those 3 facades drawn. Let's start with how I drew the details for the Nativity facade. I use a reference image of that facade such as this one on the right here. This image shows the level of detail that I want to draw. However, it's from a different perspective. So what I have to do is visualize in my mind what this facade would look like rotated and in the perspective that my overall outline is in. So I may have to look up dozens of reference images that show different perspectives of the Nativity facade and replicate on my paper the ones that are closest, but if I can't find one that matches the area and element that I want to draw, I have to use my imagination. Another tool I use to help me draw as a reference is Google Maps. It helps me visualize how elements relate to each other spatially. And with Street View, I can get a better sense of the overall building as well, and use some of the Street View angles to help me draw based on the angle that I have my drawing in. So, to recap, as I'm drawing, I'm looking at my major reference image, which is the rendering I showed you in the beginning, to get the major outlines and major proportions accurate, plus Google Maps to generally get the realistic details, plus tens or dozens of reference images, so that I can draw each element of the building as detailed as possible that can fit on the paper. And I'm synthesizing all that information in my mind and drawing it. For the Passion facade, the same principles apply. I use my main reference image plus Google Maps plus Google Images and create what the building looks like from this angle. Before we talk about the Glory facade and how to draw that, I want to talk a little about the spires and towers in the middle of the building. There are 4 towers, one for each evangelist: Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Each one has a symbol, and those symbols are at the top of each tower. When I looked at some initial renderings, they looked pretty simple, but upon further investigation and further development of the building being constructed, I learned that each of these symbols has more detail. So I went back and erased what I had drawn previously and drew what they're supposed to look like. The same is true for the Glory facade. I thought I had completed drawing it, but upon further research, and after buying a book on the building, I found a page that shows what the Glory facade is supposed to look like as illustrated by an illustrator. None of the renderings I found online showed this intent, but there's supposed to be clouds, and the clouds are supposed to have text. So I went back into my drawing and erased portions of the front facade so that I could put in the clouds with text. So after all that work in 170 plus hours, this is what the completed drawing looks like. I have drawn each facade and all the details as realistically as I could using reference images and renderings, and illustrations I found from books, obviously. I hope you found this video informative and gives you insight into my process. If you like the content that I make, remember to like, subscribe, comment, and share. Thank you. Have a great day.